Let's start. Hello everybody. I think everyone's well today, and thank you for joining with us in this event from Crossroads. And for who knows, Crossroads are a program with focus on diversity and inclusion strategies, actions, and everything connected with that. And today we are going to talk about motherhood and career development. And during this talk, I'm going to send this attendant list. You can access this list by your QR code, but don't worry, I'm going to send in this during the talk. And this attendant list is very important for us to have visibility, what we need to improve for the next events, next job opportunities and actions. And of course, to know what do you think about this talk as well. But let me pass the word for Ina, our special guest for this session. And she will be responsible for talk with you guys and girls here about this amazing topic. So Ina, the word is yours.
Thank you guys for having me as a host. When I was chosen, I was a little bit surprised because, well, motherhood is not something you think you can be ever experienced enough, let aside to be a host on the topic. But maybe the fact that I am a mother of 3 kids, not 1, not 2, but 3, you listened well, makes me at least a specialist in diaper brands, maybe. And I was hired pregnant for Avenue Code. So I think it's very nice to share, because if there is not better synergy than motherhood and career developments, other than being pregnant and being hired by a company, an amazing company, I don't know what else. I am a talent acquisition specialist. I'm a recruiter here in the Netherlands, for those who don't know me. And I am working for Avenue Code for almost 2 years. So Samuel, my last baby, is 1 year and 4 months. My oldest is 7 years, and the second one is 5 years old. So we are all over the place in the baby development, not only the career development. But I'm not here alone. I am in the company of you all, but also 3 other amazing women. And well, I would like to pass on the word for you guys to present yourself a little bit. Maybe Holly can start. And if you guys can all let me know, what is it like to be a mom?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for hosting the panel, Ina. I was excited that you are going to host because I love watching the way you do mothering and also being a phenomenal talent acquisition member. So my name is Holly Campanez. I'm the Director of Design and Creative Services here at Avenue Code. I've been with Avenue Code for nearly 6 years. And what is it like being a mom? This is a very difficult question. It's like any kind of relationship that you might have with anyone else multiplied by 1,000. The highs are high, the lows are low, but it's all about being related to a human being in a special way.
Nice, thank you so much. Just adding, have you ever had this situation where you're like, okay, I'm a mom, or oh my God, I'm a mom? Do you realize that you're a mom already?
So I actually had an interesting experience with my pregnancy, and it was something that at the time I felt extremely self-conscious about because I didn't hear other women sharing a similar experience. So I want to share with you now. While I was pregnant, I fully anticipated that I was going to be like glowing and earth goddess and connected to this life in my belly, and it was not like that. Like, I never felt a sense of connection. I didn't recognize that this was a person. I felt like my body was invaded and I was sick for 9 months. So for me, that recognition of being a mother, even though I felt the responsibility very early on, that sense of like love and connectedness for me didn't happen until after he was born. And I think that that's something I wish more women would share, because for some women it is that way. For some women, they're very connected their entire pregnancy. And I have a friend of mine who, after her baby was born, it took a couple months before she started to feel that sense of love and connection. And these are all just different kinds of experiences on the spectrum, and they're all normal, and it's okay whenever you do or don't feel that sense of motherhood.
Yeah, thank you so much. Nice. Dani, could you introduce yourself a little bit. I think you're very popular, but yeah, let's do this.
Oh, I'm popular. I was never popular. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. So I'm Danny. Actually, 9 days from now, I'm going to be 10 years with Avenue Code in May 21st. So I am a director of human resources here in Avenue Code. And I'm the mother of Pedro, a baby boy. He's 1 year old. Actually, I don't do, a lot of people do like he's, I don't know how many months, but I can't do this math quickly enough. So he was 1 year old in March. So that means 15 months or something. So, and what is it like being a mom to me? Actually, it's like Holly said, it's a roller coaster of emotions. You have the ups and downs, you have some guilt sometimes about some things, you are very proud in other moments. So the moment that I realized I'm a mom was actually on my first blood exam, because actually I love to drink. I'm a smoker. So the first time that I found out I'm pregnant, so okay, I'm gonna have to quit drinking, I'm gonna have to quit smoking. I did a blood test and it came back like you are lacking some vitamins, your cholesterol isn't that good, and you have this whole responsibility with everything that you put in your body. It goes to another person that's developing. So you need to be very self-conscious about everything that you do, because you have this responsibility with another person. And Holly actually made me think of something that I also wanted to share, because not a lot of people talk about it, but everyone said the moment that your baby is born and you hold him in your arms, you feel this cosmic connection, and like lights and spotlights go on you, and you feel like, the best person in the world. And I didn't have that moment at that moment, and this is something that everyone said that it would happen. So I had high expectations for my labor time, that when I held him, it would be something, out of this world. It was beautiful. It was amazing. But it wasn't this cosmic thing, it was something that it was building. So the first time that I held him, plus the first time that I bathed him, the first time that I put the clothes that I bought on him, it's little moments that build to something incredible and something amazing. But it's not something, for me at least, it wasn't something like it was advertised. And like Holly said, I think we live in a world today with social media and everything, that in social media, everything is amazing all the time. So, and I realize why that is. For example, I don't post videos of my baby crying or not sleeping at 3 a.m., something like that. So a lot of times people come to me and say, oh, your baby is so nice, he smiles all the time. And I said, no, not all the time, he's great, but he doesn't smile all the time. I just post him smiling all the time. So I think that this kind of it's like a romantic thing that everyone posts, and it kind of deceives you into thinking that motherhood all the time will be this amazing and perfect thing, and it's not. So I think that sometimes you need to think about that, because everyone has their own experiences, and everyone has their own limits, and it's okay. So I also wanted to share this. So yeah.
I agree so much with you both, because it's a new person. You don't know how it works. There is no manual. There is and also what works with your partner sometimes doesn't work with you, with the baby. So it's really a puzzle, very complicated puzzle. And I think it's like every relationship, it comes from the laughs, from the tough moments, from the sleepless nights, and from figuring it out together. So I think it's so nice that you guys brought, because I think many parents that are here, they can really relate to this. But we have also someone else here that we really want to listen to, and it's Puspita. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us how is it to be a mom?
Sure. Thank you so much, Ina. Thank you so much, Liz, for choosing me again when this news came from Liz. It was so amazing and excitement. It was so much to talk about. So I'm Puspita. I'm from Talent Acquisition US team. And same as Ina, it's almost going to be 2 years. I'm with Avenue Code, and I love to be there. Talking about my son, I have an 8-year-old, almost going to be 9 in September. Um, my pregnancy journey was a bit different. So it was a kind of a planned, because after my marriage there was a certain time I didn't want to get pregnant, because it was that fear, like I will miss something or what will happen to my career. So I needed some time for myself to make myself mentally ready that yes, now I am ready to become a mom. And when that came, I faced a lot of struggles and challenges to conceive or during the pregnancy. But then all is well. This little prince came, and it's same as Danny and Holly thought. I thought, oh, it will be amazing after I will forget all the pains. No, after holding him, the first thing came to my mind, oh my God, it's so painful, and I was still crying in pain. So my attention was into that, and then so many things starts coming. He is a baby, like, who has never slept throughout the night, and I love sleeping. So you can understand that how it's not always that, but yes, then end of the day, we all know how to balance. I think that is the amazing journey of motherhood. I must say, I'm still learning every day. It's a journey of learning and grooming myself. And one thing I must add, I believe 8 years back, what was I'm completely different today. The way I see myself have been matured in the last 8 years. I didn't feel somebody has put me to that maturity level. So it's an amazing journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Puspita. And I think it's also what you said, we are learning. Michelle mentioned also, when you think you figured out, they change phases. It's like a new development, or they just have a bad day and we are figuring out how is to have a bad day for them. So thank you so much. Well, if you're talking now about the bad days and the challenges, could you tell me a little bit what's the main challenge that you girls are facing now, Puspita?
So for sure. So for me, as I said, my son is grown up. So when he was small, it was always, I was thinking, okay, when he will grow up, all my problems will be over. I used to look at the big kids and I was like, oh wow, their moms are super happy. They have less responsibilities, didn't have to feed. Now my challenge is completely different. So he is super active as well as a bit emotional. So every time if I have to teach him what is good, what is bad, what to do, what not to do, first I need to figure out how I will present it to in front of himself so that he will accept it positively. So it's not like all whatever I do in the talent acquisition, how I present the job to my candidate. It's something kind of, I felt there's something like that. I have to put it in a way so that he will take it. Otherwise, there is a double quote line, Mommy, you are being mean. You cannot do that to your son. So I'm like, okay. Or maybe sometimes, we really lose controls and we scream, and later on I feel bad. I screamed. And even before I scream, the tear starts crying out. You know what? Cops can come and take you for making your child cry. You don't have to think of me. When I will grow up, my kids and my wife will take care of me. I'm like, okay, hold on, don't grow up so fast. So yes, it's challenge, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it in my own way.
How old is he now?
He will be 9 in September. So he's 8.5.
It's like
and and he's a soccer player. So he has too much active and too many things always to talk about at home.
Okay, so yeah, I hear you. The challenge, I see this a little bit in my 7-year-old, but I think Holly has a different challenge right now because your baby is 1 year, right? And Danielle, so Holly, could you tell us a little bit what's your main challenge now?
Yes, absolutely. So first, let me just introduce my son. This is Arthur. He is almost 16 months. So Danny and I had our babies very close together, which was really fun. We could kind of compare experiences. And I think the main challenge that I'm facing right now with motherhood, because as Michelle said, it's always evolving. They're not the same person day to day. I'm not the same person day to day. So continuing to just kind of meet each other where we are in that moment with whatever's going on. Today I'm sick and he's sick, and we're having a different kind of relationship, and we're both like dealing with some crap and still meeting each other in a loving way. And tomorrow he's going to understand something that he didn't understand today. So keeping up with that evolution is like a constant challenge. And I think one of the ways that that's showing up right now is that I've become really aware that taking care of myself is not something bad for my son. So this was huge because I was raised in a very conservative home. The idea was that when you have children, you stay home, you leave your job, and you take care of them, and you take care of your husband. So I had to unlearn a lot, and that's a perfectly valid choice, but it wasn't the right choice for me. So for myself, when I had to unlearn that, right along with that came all these ideas of loving or being a good mother means sacrificing who you are. So to unlearn that is always a challenge. And then as he continues to grow and change and develop, I'm learning maybe that looks a little different today than it did yesterday. Maybe now, and it's kind of ironic because I think last year when he was very, very young, I felt free. I felt like I could travel. I felt like there was no impact on him. And I still love to travel. I love to travel for work, but I'm realizing that now he's much more aware, and it hits him a little differently than it did last year. So I have to take that into consideration. I need to plan my travel. I need to think about how to keep that sense of connection with him. So holding on to that learning that taking care of myself and pursuing my own interests is actually a very positive thing for my son. And then seeing how that looks a little different day to day. I think that's the main challenge that we're working through right now as a family.
No, that's amazing, Holly. Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy that you have a child, but then you look at yourself. That's a very tricky journey. And there's where are the lessons, I think, the deep lessons from motherhood. But I want to know from Dani, what's the main challenge right now, and a little bit more about your baby.
Yes, so my baby's name is Pedro, and like Holly said, we had our babies almost at the same time, and actually a lot of other people from Avenue Code, a lot of other moms and dads also had their babies. It's like the pandemic babies, you know, they all came kind of at the same time. And one of the challenges that I have actually two. One is, since I have so many people that I know that are in the same age as Pedro, one of the challenges that I have is comparing a little bit some things. For this baby is the same age and he's already walking. Pedro is not walking yet. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, you know, maybe I should be doing something different. Or this baby is speaking and mine isn't speaking yet, so maybe I'm doing something different. This other baby is younger and he's already doing this and mine isn't, so what's going on there? So this is something that you don't want to do, but you start to do, and you start feeling guilty because you hold these standards that if this is happening, why is this not happening to my baby right now? So maybe it's me, you know, you always blame yourself for something that it's supposed to be going on and it's not. So this is one of the challenges. And the other one is really about a career. For those people who know me for a long time, they know that a lot of my life revolves around career and Avenue Code and career development. And this is something that in the past I used to be able to, I'm really more productive at night. So I used to work a lot during the night and during like late hours because I like to, because I chose to. And right now, if your baby is sleeping, you need to be sleeping because you don't know when you're going to sleep after that, you know? So I had to readjust my whole routine, my whole daily and night routine according to the baby, which is like this unpredictable being, and you need to adjust to the baby. So this is a big challenge for me because I like to study. And sometimes I don't have as much time to study as I used to have before. I really like to be a person that's very responsive on emails, on chats, and I noticed that this is not happening as I would like to be, because sometimes we need to, you know. And since I moved from Brazil to the US, in Brazil for a few months, I used to have a nanny with me, because in Brazil it's very cheaper than in the US to have a nanny. So I used to have one from noon to 6 p.m., which was great. I could really focus on work. And when I moved here, it's not something super affordable in comparison to Brazil. So it was something that me and my husband, we had to kind of take turns. So I have a meeting now, so you get the baby, and then now you have a meeting, so I'll get the baby. Sometimes we do meetings with the baby. But then when he turned 1 year old, then we put him on daycare. And at daycare, now we're able to focus a little bit more on work as well, and spend the mornings and the nights with him, and the weekends also. So this is something that has been helping a lot. But to balance career with motherhood and fatherhood, if I can speak for my husband also, is something very challenging. You need to change your routines, you need to change your schedule, you need to be able to be very flexible, which sometimes I know I'm not, because I'm really a control freak. So I plan some things that I want to do. And when something unpredictable happens, you need to be able to adapt. So this, I would say, is the main challenge for me.
Now, nice that you talked about the experience, like of dividing a little bit the tasks, the baby tasks with your husband. We have a lot of men in the company, not only in the company, but outside Avenue Code. Actually, we are all mothers of boys. So we are also helping in this, in a lot of men, putting a lot of men out there. And I wonder, how is that for you? Dani, Holly, and Puspita. Dani, you're already talking. If you can tell us a little bit, if you see the difference in what a mother does and what a father does.
I definitely see a difference in actually not in what a mother does and what a father does, but in people's perception. And I thought we would be so much more evolved by now, but I see that we are not even close, because what I see is Jean is my husband's name. We divide the tasks, we divide time with Pedro, and there are a lot of days that actually he is more with Pedro than I am, for example. And he is God, Everyone is like, oh, Jean, he's so great. He's a great father. He's perfect. He's awesome, And people don't see that it's a shared responsibility that you have with the father of the baby, with your partner. So sometimes people, they put a lot of value when a father is present. And when a mother is present, she is doing nothing more than what she has to do and she needs to do. So if I heard something very interesting from Jennifer Garner when she was married to Ben Affleck. She was doing an interview after a movie, and she said, every time I do an interview for a movie, people ask me how I balance my career with motherhood. And I asked my husband if he ever got that question. He never got that question. So this is something that we as moms, we are how can I say, cobradas? We are, people ask us, and people expect us to be always present and to be great moms. And if we do that, we are doing nothing more than our obligation. And when fathers are present and they are active and they participate, they are incredible. They are these wonderful beings, So this is something that actually made me resent Gian a little bit in the beginning, because everyone was super fan number one of him, and I was doing nothing more than what I had to do. And this is something that messes a little bit with your mental health as well, because you think that you are doing less than what you're supposed to do. So this is something that needs to be more normalized, the shared responsibility between parents. So I think we are still hundreds of miles away from having this equality,
Yeah, totally agree with you. I remember when I had my first, I went to a party. Patrick was with a baby at home. And then people were like, who is with your baby? And I was like, his father. It's not. And nobody ever asked Patrick this. And several times after, people asked me in life, years after, people kept asking. I think it's really crazy that this is so, it's really not equal yet. Holly, you have a question or something to share, please.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to add to that, because I think what Danny was sharing really resonated in the sense that for me that was very internalized. And I don't know if this is a cultural difference between Brazil or here, or my husband's just an extraordinary man, but I was shocked at how much Hanan took on with Arthur and how much he just was. And that I felt guilty about that. Like, oh, no, you're the dad. Like, this is my job. So even this perception that we see from the outside, it's so pernicious. Like, it's internalized to the point that I have to consciously say, no, that's okay. That's great that they have this strong relationship. That's great that sometimes Arthur asks for dada before mama. And that doesn't mean I'm failing as a mom just because he has a good relationship with Hanan.
Yeah, nice. So true.
I
Peter, yeah, could you?
Yeah, maybe I would like to add some more here. My story is a bit different here, just in a reverse way. So I moved from India a long time ago, even before my baby was born, and I have no family here. So it's me, my husband alone, who is raising this baby. And it's not only I have this avenue code, I'm also a dance teacher. I have my own dance school. So there are so many responsibilities in my own plate, and that is something my breather, I must say. I cannot live without it. So when I was pregnant, that was the thing first came to my mind, that how I can continue both. Because I had to hear a lot of time, oh, now you are a mom. Even a few days back also I got to hear that, oh, now your son is growing up. Now you should give more time to him. And you should, stay away from all those dance and or career or something like that. You just go to office, it's fine. But what I personally felt, unless I see a complete me, that what I love to do, I am doing that, I cannot give my 100% to myself.
Yeah.
So again, as Danny has mentioned, I am kind of a organized freak person. I always try to look ahead my week. I organize my schedule like, okay, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. These are my responsibilities. And I always keep a 1 hour or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, even every day before going to bed. That is my me time. And touch it right now, even my son knows that that is mommy's me time.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
he's the one who goes and tells daddy that, hey, dad, don't disturb her. This is her me time. She needs to have it. Because I know if I don't get that me time, I get frustrated. If I don't get that me time consecutive 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, I get so much frustrated. My everything hampers. Coming to the fatherhood and my husband, he is very lazy. I do not mind to say it openly. And he also knows that he is very lazy. So in my community, social, and everybody knows, everybody tells me, oh, you might have, because he is like, oh, look, today I changed the diaper. And now since my son plays soccer, he plays in a competitive level. So yes, he does the best work. He drives him everywhere. Because that is where I said, I cannot take this one responsibility because I'm taking care of all the other household work, what he will eat, what he would love to do, his homeworks and everything else. He learns guitar. So everything else I'm taking care of. But this is one field activity I'm not at all interested to get involved into it. So if you ask, that is our division of work where I am already super loaded, heavy loaded. But I must say, if I be a little organized, if you all kind of sit and give a 15 minutes of time to myself and do whatever I want to do, I believe that will give some more, energy for the next day. And definitely that will definitely not impact on your career as well.
Of course. Yeah, it's to be religious in the me time and to recharge, right? Because it's not only about physically being organized and stuff, but mentally we are also busy with them all the time. Brenda, you raised a hand. You want to ask something or add something?
Yes, actually, I have a question. I don't know if it's the time to make questions, but and it's not related to fatherhood as well, but I'm young and I have the desire, of course, to be a mom and someday. And thinking about my career, I also want to assume a leadership position, for example. So it's something that I feel really scared off because we have been listening from our society that we are not able to do it, but I want to do both. So I'd like to understand, how do you usually balance the professional and personal life, and when you are a mom and you have like a baby who really needs attention, for example?
So that's a very good question. I was going to, well, Puspita gave a little bit of a tip, for recharging in me time. Maybe Holly, you have a tip on organization and how to balance professional and personal life?
Yeah, I'm happy to share, but I think the caveat here is that this is probably going to be different for everyone, and there's not a magic formula. A lot of it is trial and error, and you're going to have things that you try and it's just like, well, that didn't work. So for me personally, I can't balance. I am not a multitasker. I focus on one thing at a time and I give it everything and I complete it. So for me, what that's meant is that when I'm working from home, I cannot physically be in the same room as Arthur, because if I see him, like anything I try to do, my attention it's like a magnet, keeps going to him. So for me, what that's meant is like, I'm fortunate I have a huge bedroom that has this like sitting area. So I've created this as my office and that door is closed. And I don't try to do both at the same time. And I have had a lot of guilt about this. Like, oh, you should be taking advantage. You should be really just like spending every moment that you can with your son. But as I've studied and as I've read, what I'm learning is that the quantity of time that you spend with your child is not necessarily as impactful in their emotional development as the quality of time. So for me, that's been my kind of compromise with myself and with Arthur. When I'm working, and that's it. I'm not trying to go between. I'm not trying to do both. And then when I'm with him, I'm with him. I leave my phone in the other room. I don't look at messages. I don't take calls. And I'm just spending time with him, reading or playing. So it may be that time that I have with him is very short, but I make it count, and vice versa. So I think, you gotta find out, Brenda, when that time comes, what's gonna work for you. And it may look really different, but don't worry about what everyone else is saying it should look like. Don't worry about what you see this like super achiever mom on Instagram doing. You got to feel it out, and you got to feel out what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your child or your children.
Yeah, and talk to your friends that have children, talk to and ask them what was the most difficult problem and issues and challenges, and try to talk to your partner about it as well. Share the load, don't we women, we try to take everything on our shoulders. So it's good to discuss this from the beginning if you're going to plan it.
And I think I'm sorry, I just want to add one other thing. I think the thing that also kind of brought me peace about it is that I want Arthur to grow up looking at me and saying, my mom didn't resent me. My mom was doing what she wanted to be doing. She followed her passion. She made her dreams come true. And I know that she loved me so much. So I don't want him to ever wonder, like, what did I give up to be a good mom to him? Because that's a huge burden for a child to carry.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point, because you hear a lot. I hear from friends, oh, my mom, she would go to work and she would say, oh, I'm going to work, but I wanted to be with you. And they felt really guilty their whole life. And what I try to do to my kids is like, oh, boys, you're going to play, you're going to be with Papa, you're going to go to the daycare, and I'm going to have an awesome day because I love what I do. And you guys have to eventually find out something that you love to do. So thanks for that, Holly. Dani, you raised the hand.
Yes, I did. No, I just wanted to add to what Holly said, and I agree with her 100% that there's no secret formula, because everything depends on your profile, and it depends on your plans. It depends on your baby also, because you can never predict if your baby is going to be someone who sleeps through the night or not, or cries a lot or not. So it's not something that you can plan. But what I can say that I think definitely you can. There are ways to balance a motherhood with career. You just need to adapt your thinking that maybe it's not going to be 100% for everything, because with everything in life, everything that you do, if you choose to do a lot of things at the same time, you know that you can't give 100% of people's expectations on everything that you are doing. So you need to adjust your expectations to everything that you're doing to make sure that you are able to deliver on your plans for your career, on your plans for motherhood and everything, and have a good support system. It doesn't even have to be your partner, but having a good support system really helps, because being alone, alone with a baby and a career, for example, it's something that your mental health suffers as well. You need someone to be able to talk to exchange ideas, to, you know, to share a little bit, not only your thoughts, but your responsibilities as well. So I see that a lot of people, like, they got family members who help, they got their partners who help with the baby as well, because until your baby is old enough to go to a daycare or something like that, you need to be focused on the baby, but also be focused on work. So you need to have an adaptable mind, that it's okay if this day, for example, you cannot attend the 10 meetings that you had scheduled, then you need to spend some time with the baby, or the other way around, you know? So you just need to have a flexible mind, to work at a flexible place, which I believe that we are, because we are all mothers here working on the same company, and we are able to balance both out. So I think flexibility in all of the items is very important, to be able to balance everything that you want to achieve and adapt expectations as well.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. And also being honest about it. You know, if you're late for a meeting because something happened with your kids, let's normalize that. You know, we all have families, we all have things to do, and we are there, you know, we go to work and we have fun. But we should be more and more honest about the backstage, let's say. Now, I would like you all to tell me just one situation, but where is there something you think about differently from when you realized you're pregnant and today? Puspita, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It has been changed, as we all were talking about, and Holly has already mentioned that we all have grown up, or we all have seen, like, oh, when you will pregnant, when you will become mom, something, this will happen, that will happen. Honestly, in real life, it doesn't happen. It was, and it's still a roller coaster journey. When my son was born, I dreamt of something, I planned something. Every minute, every other day, things are changing. When I was pregnant, I thought of, okay, it's a baby, I will enjoy playing with him. That time I was scared, oh, how I will teach him how to learn, how to talk, how to write, how to speak, how to do ABCD. Today I'm thinking, oh, how I will teach him the lesson of being a good human being. How will I guide him in a proper way to choose the right career? How I will stop him not to, get involved into the bad things, because in another 2 years he will be going to the middle school. So it's kind of a roller coaster journey. I don't think it has been it has been the same feeling, the same thing, the same me who I was at the time I was pregnant, or at the time my son was just 1 year old, and when he is 8 or 10, definitely not. And if you ask me just one situation, I must say, when he was small, he was a person who never sleeps at night. With him, I really struggled when he was small. He used to scream and all. And now today I see, maybe successfully, I am able to put him into some kind of discipline. He goes by time very, and that helps me a lot. Like, he knows, okay, 8:30, it's time for me to go to bed. 8:45, I am not allowed to stay awake anymore. I need to grab my book, go to bed, and fall asleep. That's it. That's a big change for me.
Oh my God, I have 2 boys that they didn't like to sleep. They don't like, and yeah, eventually it gets better, but then it gets worse. But then it's what you all said so far. It's like being flexible and letting it go. We learn a lot about it. So we got the question from Brenda. She's not a mom yet, but I also would like to ask for a last tip on which tip you would give to a person that lives with a mom at home. It doesn't matter if it's a father or brother, grandparents, aunt, but what would be the tip for them to support a mom? And let's say, who's speaking? Dani?
Can I? Oh,
sure. Renan.
oh, sorry. Oh, is this a question for the moms, or I got the understanding that this would be a question for the, I don't know, I'm sorry.
I'm curious to know what you will say.
I'm gonna keep quiet, sorry. I got the wrong understanding here.
No, Hannah, I would love to hear your tips.
Yeah.
Please, now you're a speaker, Renan. Show your thoughts,
I had the same doubt if I unmute my microphone or not, but I had the same doubt.
Guys, who more tips, the merrier. So please.
I just, probably a really quick one for me, just understanding that you are not only supporting a mom, or you are part of the team. It's like, it's a shared responsibility. It's like, it's not like you're, of course you're supporting the mom, but you're supporting the kid, and you're supporting, it's not support, it's you are part of it, the same responsibility. You should have the same responsibility. It's not support. I'm helping. No, I'm not helping Holly. I'm doing my job as well as a parent. So I think that this is the main thing, the main tip. I mean, if you have this mindset, it's not a chip. It comes naturally.
Yeah, great.
This guy. So great.
Can I give my 2 cents here also?
Please.
So I think we have to be really clear about what you can and what you can't do during this, I would say, the first phase of the kid. Sometimes I know that I can't feed my babe, but I can do all the other things. So it's not only mom's responsibility, it's our responsibility. I totally agree with Renan. I think that we came from I would say, old school mindset that's a mom's responsibility. I know that's really, I feel that because we really share the responsibility here in our home. And thinking about I would not say my dad, but my grandfather, it was easy because they go out to work and come back at night and, okay, how was your day? I was working. I was not dividing their responsibilities. So they felt easy to be a father in this kind of situation. That's not that. So we need to really divide the responsibilities. So I can change the diapers, I can put the baby to sleep, I can do almost everything, especially now that Miguel is 10 months old and he's already eating. So I can divide even this situation and feed my son. So I totally agree with Hannah in this.
Yeah, thank you so much,
division.
Michelle. Yeah, it's being part, right, of the growing up of your kid. It's not coming with the money and you have a stranger on the other side of the table who which team he cheers for, whatever. But yeah, I really like this new wave of parenting, of being connected, of supporting each other. Thank you so much for showing that for us today. Holly, you have something to add?
Yeah, I did want to weigh in on this one because I think the single biggest thing that Hanan often does that makes me feel very supported is sharing, not only executing on specific tasks, but sharing the mental responsibility, right? Of like planning for when is the doctor's appointment? Do we need to call the person to mow the lawn outside? What's for dinner? Who's cooking this? And can you run to go pick up the groceries? So there's kind of like, I feel like many women have at all times an internal to-do list that is heavy, and you can't sleep at night sometimes because it's like pressing down on you, and it's just like, oh, this and this and this, I got to take care of all these things. So when you have a partner who not only comes up and says like, what's next? What do I have to do? But actually is like also helping you to carry that load and think through, hey, remember, we got to pay that credit card, or it's time to go in and get our teeth cleaned. Did you schedule that for yourself? This is huge. I mean, to just not feel so alone, to not feel so weighed down by that. So I would say, whatever you see a mom doing, just know that that's the tip of the iceberg, and there's like this mountain of mental load that she's carrying. So ask her about that. Ask her, what's on your mind? What are you worried about? What's on your list? How can we share this? That's huge.
Yeah, thank you so much, Holly. Yeah. Danny, you raised a hand.
Yes, no, I wanted to add to what Holly said actually, because I think that's super important, because there's not only, I know we're talking about motherhood, but in your house, in your life, you don't have only motherhood responsibilities. You have the house responsibilities, you have cleaning, you have cooking, you have other appointments, you have your health, your partner's health, you have so many other things like family members, issues, and parties, and other dates that you need to remember to celebrate, and a lot of other things going on at the same time. And I think that with your partner, if you are able to share responsibilities equally, not only about the baby, but share general responsibilities, and that facilitates a lot. And Jean and I, this is something that helps me a lot. For example, I know that I'm better with organizing some things, and Jean hates calling places and scheduling appointments and this. So I take this part, and he really likes like doing dishes, laundry, these things. So and he likes, I mean, which is weird, but he does. So he does that part. So we kind of share some of the general responsibilities for the house. So we kind of feel the same weight and the same sense of responsibility, but we share time off as well. So every other week, for example, on Sundays, we do mommy day, we do daddy day. So there's the Sunday that I get the baby, spend the whole day with the baby, and we even joke around, like I serve beer to him, like it's your day, and on my day he serves me my vodka and Coke that I love, and he does the cooking for me, and he gets with the baby and everything. So I think that sharing not only the responsibilities, but also some time off and some pampering for both, so you can feel appreciated by your partner. I think this is something super important to do as well.
Yes. I think it's nice also for those who are parents already and are struggling with planning, or for those who want to be able to look for a very good application to share responsibilities. I have one that I use, Cozy, and it's amazing because I put the groceries list there. I put a list of things that I have to solve that are in my mental list, like Holly said. And then I know that Patrick, my husband, will look at it, and if he's able to solve it, he will solve it. And there are the common list, which everyone here can pick the task and do it. So yeah, that's a good one, Danny. Thanks.
I was reading here that William said that he loves giving birth and putting the kids to sleep, and my wife hates it, so I do it almost every day. It's almost the same here. For example, I hate putting Pedro to sleep because he cries. He doesn't want to sleep. He never wants to sleep. So usually my husband is the person who puts him to sleep, but I love picking him up on daycare and bathing him. So usually this is one thing that I do. So we kind of share things that one likes to do more than the other. I think this is great.
That's amazing. And I think this is what the guy said. We are in the same team. Huh? It's not the woman, but we're in the same team. So we share the tasks and we do what we like. And then is the time meaningful with the kid. Also, you're doing something you like with the baby. Puspita, you want to add something?
Yeah, I'm like what Dani and Holly said. I totally agree with that, and I must say, yes, as I've mentioned, my husband, he's not a good cook or something, but definitely the way he supports me mentally, because he always accepts that, okay, yeah, you have too many things in your plate, but he is confident that yes, you can be able to do it. But at the same time, as I have mentioned, I have another dance school and all these things, so I had to go out of the house multiple times. So that is the time he supports me amazingly. Like, I don't have to think what is going on behind that, I can focus and concentrate on what I am doing. Or even if I sometimes just go out living, he is like, okay, I will take care. So like today I came out of the house really early in the morning, and he is like, okay, you go to office and I will take care of him so that he can go to school on time and lot. So yes, sharing responsibilities in some way, either mentally or just by doing something. Not always everybody can do something, but at least if somebody can give you this mental support that yes, I am there, you go ahead and do it. I think that's a big thing for you to go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sharing responsibilities and being a team together. Yeah, that's what this is about, right? It's not motherhood, but parenthood. Cool. Just to complement for those in tips for, if you know a mom, or if you know someone that just had a baby, you don't need to bring stuff to her maybe, but food to this family, because they are so busy figuring it out. That's so nice to receive a nice freshly baked lasagna on your step door. This is the dream. So don't worry about the baby's clothes and everything. I'm sure they will figure that out. But offer your service, offer your love to these people. And if you see that somebody's tired, don't say to a mom that she's tired. That's very good. Don't say to a parent that is tired, because we already know that. But offer some help.
And also, don't blame hormones. Never blame hormones.
That's all. Guys,
don't tell us to calm down.
What? Yeah.
Don't tell us to calm down.
No, this is the opposite that happens. But are there any questions? We're actually almost ready. So
I had one that I put here in the chat, especially for Dani, that started this, telling that the first day that he put her baby on the daycare, how was the feeling come back home without your baby and trying to focus on your job?
I have to say it was weird until today. When I travel without my baby, sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m. hearing him crying, and then I realize, no, he's not here. I'm alone at this moment. So for daycare, when he was 1 year old, and we were struggling here with alternating who keeps him while we have meetings, because both of us work and both of us have a lot of meetings during the day. So daycare kind of came as a solution. I was super scared of it at first because I felt my baby's gonna be there alone. All the awful things go through your head. He's gonna get kidnapped, something's gonna happen to him, he's gonna fall, nobody's gonna be paying attention, You think of all of these things, but then you stop to think smartly, okay, so all of those things can happen anywhere at any time. So you can't be afraid all the time for everything that's going to happen to him. So, of course, we did our research. We talked to other moms that had their kids on that same daycare. We went there to meet the space and everything. We wanted to know that it was a safe environment, that it was an environment that would add to him. And we started thinking actually about him, because we were having these meetings with him on our lab sometimes, with meetings and everything. What are we doing for his development during this time? And he would develop so much having contact with other kids and having these teachers teaching them other things, that we were not doing at home. So we felt like we were doing actually something good for him. So, but the feeling, the first day, especially because he cried a whole lot when we gave him to the teacher there, and he was crying. I came home crying, thinking, worst mom ever. And then I got home, I started doing my meetings, and I had this empty feeling like there's no one around and I'm doing meetings and I can focus. This is great, but this is weird, it's kind of, you have mixed feelings. And then after some time, the teacher was the one who told me, who said, I was feeling bad because he was crying every time we dropped him off. And she said, stay outside for 5 minutes and here. After 2 minutes, he was already stopped crying and was laughing inside, with the other kids and everything. So, it's something that it's hard at first, but it's something that it's good for his development and for your time also, for work, for personal things and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, but be prepared, because sickness also will come. Every 3 weeks, he comes with
everything will come, yeah.
Or a cold or something like that. But I mean, I think it's good. It builds immune system. I don't know, but it's something that you need to be prepared to handle as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Puspita.
Just a quick one-line tip to all of you who is having the small ones, younger ones in 1 month. It's just, just wait for another few years. In certain years, when you will, once they will turn 5, 6 years old, and once they will come back from a tiring day and something like that, they will come and hug you and ask you, "Hey, mommy, how was your day?" That hug, trust me, will take off everything. That will take off all your tiredness. Even if you had a very, very, very bad day, they will take off everything, and it happens. That is the magic happens always. That simple small hug from them and asking, "How was your day?"
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing. Holly?
Yeah, we didn't get to this question, but there is something I really wanted to say about women who choose not to become mothers. I think this is really important to be part of any conversation around motherhood, because most of my life, I did not want to be a mother. And I can't tell you how many times I felt that I had to really defend that decision. And now being a mother, of course, I love it. I'm so happy. And I don't feel that it's a bad choice to not have children. And so I just want to say, for any of the women that are listening, like, if that's not something you want to do, you are a whole and complete person. You don't need that. You don't have to check that box. It's not part of what it means to be a woman. It doesn't mean your life isn't complete. I think it's just a different experience of being related with other human beings. And every kind of relationship and relatedness is really beautiful and valuable, regardless if it's parent-child or lover and lover or friend and friend or siblings. There's so many ways that we can have this experience of connectedness as human beings. And I really want to say that, because I wish that I had heard that more. You don't have to have children to be complete as a human being or as a woman.
Yes, I totally agree. Thanks, Holly, for putting this topic here. It's a little bit expected from us. The next step will be always having a baby, and it's not about that. And also, I think it's nice to normalize that we don't always are happy in motherhood. It's not that we don't like our kids. We love our kids. We're crazy about them. But sometimes I just don't like motherhood. Sometimes it's a little bit a lot. So I think these two topics are also very valuable to be shared here. But for now, I'm going to thank you all a lot. The women, these three amazing women that shared with open hearts, stories, tales that are really close to your heart. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you all for being here along the way. Stay tuned for the next talks. And tomorrow there is something very nice happening on Instagram regarding Crossroads and Dani and Lais. So stay tuned and talk to us tomorrow on Instagram. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.